PYX 106.
1-800-LAW-1010, 1-800-LAW-1010.com. Our buddy Chas Farcher on the phone, Cantara from Martin Harding Mazzotti.
Hello, Chaz.
Good morning, gentlemen.
Quinn saw the best picture, must be approaching 100 likes now, of
Oh, my God.
Chaz
It was so adorable.
coming home. Have you seen it from work?
I wasn't sure if you were coming home or leaving because I took it as leaving because that's what my childhood was all about. My dad was always leaving.
Coming home or leaving in his lawyer suit, because he's a lawyer.
Yes.
Kneeling down in front of his glass slider, talking to, I assume that your new baby?
That's Nicholas, and I was leaving. You're correct.
Was leaving.
You're on your way to work.
I tell you, that was like a promo for something I'm going to watch on Lifetime this Saturday
Yeah,
afternoon.
like, I don't know, some sort of fiber
Beautiful, Chaz.
product.
Well, I appreciate that. I saw a recent one of Quinn on there, too, with a handlebar mustache, and that almost brought tears to my eyes as well.
Yeah, I'm working on it. It's bringing tears to a lot of people's eyes.
It looks good.
Oh, thank
Better
you.
than anyone thought it
Thank
would
you.
look.
Cudlitz has a very similar one. So, yeah. So listen, Skelos, here's what I know. We got a bunch of lawyers and doctors on the jury. I mean, I know that's a Manhattan thing, according to your buddy Paul over there. But walk us through this. You got Dean and his dad and his kid, and they've evidently been corrupting by putting money into the kids' business. What's going on over there?
Yeah, so you had Sheldon Silver, who was indicted last year. His trial is ongoing. They're in the third week down there. And now you've got Dean Skelos and his son, who were both arrested in May, and now their trial's going on. And essentially, the allegations are similar to those against Sheldon Silver. So not to say the corruption doesn't stem both sides of the aisle, but with Skelos, essentially the allegation is that he got his son a no-show job where he'd get paid six figures, and he also had a technology company pay him over $200,000 in quote-unquote consulting fees, even though he never did any consulting. And the reason these companies would do that is to hope, to have access to Dean Skelos, who was in a pretty powerful position at the time, with the state Senate. So that's the allegation. The jury selection just started this week. It'll probably be a 3 or 4 week trial, and we'll see what happens.
So, Chaz, and I think I'm reading this from the New York Times. It moved about 9 hours ago. Says that the son told the judge that one of the defendants had sought to discuss a possible plea deal. Have you heard anything like that? It seems like it's fairly new information.
Yeah, that's probably something that will be ongoing, and my guess is that's something that was probably explored early on and maybe explored as the process moves along. But particularly after you get a better idea of what the U.S. Attorney's proof's going to be, and they laid some of that out recently. If you compare it to prior trials, say the one against Joe Bruno. Dean Skelos and his son seemed to be in a lot more trouble than maybe Joe Bruno was. That was a more difficult case. It was a lot of circumstantial evidence. Here, they intend to call, a lot of witnesses who are going to give direct testimony. The son, Adam Skelos' bosses, were going to come in and testify that, yeah, he was put on the payroll, and yeah, they paid him, and it was essentially done as a favor to Dean Skelos, but he never showed up. He never did any work.
Let me tell you something about relationships, okay? Because that's what this world is built on. It's built on relationships. There's no relationship closer, my family aside, than a father and a son. And if it benefits the state, what he was doing, if those deals were doing good and positive things, is that going to help him?
Yeah, I suppose it might be something you take into consideration, but like anything
but
else,
that's just the way that people do business. I mean, who else? You do business with people you know.
It's
I know
no-show job.
But are we 100% sure about that?
Well, that's what the trial will.
All right.
I want to go back to the.
But what other father hasn't wanted to give their kid a gig? Like to help their kid get a gig.
It's crooked.
I think the evidence is that he showed up for 1 hour of work during a 1 or 2 week period, and then they recently added some new extortion charges too, because when the boss questioned that the son wasn't even showing up.
I draw the line at extortion.
There was an allegation
Chaz,
that he was going to bash the boss's head in.
Quinn brought up the point about the jury, and it's all like doctors. It's all like rich white collar folks, and that's
bankers. Some bankers in there.
There's no common man on that jury, but a lot of that has to do with where the trial's being held, right?
Well, yes and no. I mean, the trial's being held, down in the district court in New York City. So, I think you got a melting pot of people there. But I think that's probably more of a defense strategy or maybe a prosecution strategy. It's going to be a complicated trial. They're going to be talking about wiretaps. And in this atmosphere, if there's any conviction on any of the charges, I think you guys are going to see jail time. Politicians are just not well liked.
All right, buddy.
Hey, good to hear from you, man. Have a great week. All right, Chaz.
Great talking to you guys. Take care.
1-800-LAW-1010, 1-800-LAW-1010.com. Martin Harding Mazzotti's Chas Farcher.
Quinn and Cantara.
Let the pimps go free.
Slicing the righteous.
Whips.
Mornings on PYX 106.
Take your top off and